Boom chanka, lads and lasses, how's it going? It's the Flying Pig here on Flying Pig United. Just a quick live video for you. Had to jump on here and talk about some of the football headlines that are going on today. Not in the world of Manchester United, unfortunately, signing any players, but there are other big headlines that we are going to discuss in this quick video today. Hope you're all having a good one. Thanks for stopping by on the channel. So the big news, well, there's a couple of big pieces of news, but the big news is Frank Lampard has been appointed the new Chelsea boss. So they have given faith in an ex-player, sort of like Manchester United have with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, at a time where perhaps it does make sense for Chelsea because they do have this transfer embargo. They've got this ban for the next couple of years. They can't make any new signings. So maybe it's a good time for Frank Lampard to go in there, maybe develop the youth. He showed at Derby last season maybe he does have some abilities at doing that. But obviously he's still an inexperienced manager. If I'm Frank Lampard, I'm thinking, I mean, obviously this is great. It's the club he played for, the club he loves. I'm sure it's his dream to one day manage Chelsea, and he's managed to do that. But at the same time, it's a bit too much too soon. And I know that's rich coming from me, a Man United fan with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at the wheel. But Lampard's just had one season in management there at Derby. Yeah, he got them into the playoff final or whatever. But it's quite a big step up to go and manage Chelsea in the Premier League with the current situation they're in, with the transfer embargo, not being able to bring in any new players. I mean, he's going to have his work cut out for him, this lad. And maybe it's just a case of he's a bit of a scapegoat. We shall see. I mean, I know, obviously, Frank Lampard is a very intelligent footballing man. He's a great player. There's no doubt in his greatness in terms of English midfielders. You know, people talk about Gerrard, Lampard and Scholes. To me, Scholes, he was the best. Lampard, second best. And Gerrard's a shithouse. No, Gerrard was a quality player, but look, that's how it is to me anyway. And I think maybe Lampard could be successful at Chelsea, but he's going to have his work out for him. He can't sign any new players. Basically, got Kovacic back. They've basically made that permanent. They had him on loan. And Pulisic, they had him on loan out in Germany. He will be coming back. There's a couple of lads like Mason Mount that Chelsea allowed Frank Lampard to take with him at Derby, sort of helping him out a little bit there. So there's a few extra additions that Chelsea will have, but certainly they're not going to be able to go out there and spend big money on any type of good players, you know, to bring them in. Frank Lampard's going to have to work with what he's got there. They do have a good squad. They have got great players in there. But the last couple of seasons, they definitely haven't shown that they're right up there with the likes of the Liverpools and the likes of the Man Cities right now. Certainly better than Manchester United, though, so what am I talking about? But there we are. Yeah, I just wanted to make this video ready to see what you guys think about it, see if there's any Chelsea scummers in here that want to comment on it, see if they're happy with the appointment of Frank Lampard, if they think it's maybe a little bit too soon. Because what has he actually done? It's the same with Ole Gunnar, though. I guess he's just that much of a club legend that you've got to give him the opportunity. The opportunity has arose. He's proved himself to be decent, at least in managing in the Championship last season for Derby. So why not give him an opportunity at this time? It does make sense for Chelsea because they can't sign players. There's less pressure on Frank Lampard in a way. Because Frank Lampard, it's not like he can go and sign a £60 million player and then have to have them perform or they flop or anything like that. He's just got the added benefit that they can't sign anyone. He's got to work with what he's got. He's got to develop the youth. So I think Chelsea fans would maybe give him a little bit of time just to actually allow him to do that, to develop the youth, to bring on this team because they can't go and sign any big players. Everybody who's tuning in right now, thanks for stopping by on the live stream. Obviously, a bit of a random topic here. But do us a favour if you are tuned in here. Smash a little cheeky like on that like button, of course. Just a shout out to Clam J, the first commenter on this live stream. He comments, "Hey Pig, let's see how fast Frank lasts." I think you mean Fat Frank. But anyway, let's see how long he does last. I mean, it's the same situation United have with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in a way. You could argue that Lampard has proven himself slightly more as a manager because in the Championship he did have what you would deem a successful season with Derby. He got them 6th, I believe, so in the playoffs, and then he got them to the playoff final. So he did have a good season with them. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer won the Norwegian League with Molde, which obviously is a big achievement. I think it was the first time they did that in many a year. So that is a big achievement, but at the same time, it's the Norwegian League. The Championship is one of the most competitive leagues in the world, if not the most competitive. And what I mean by that is obviously there's the evenness throughout the league and the physicality of it. It's you know, it's a very difficult. They always say it's the most difficult league to get out of because everybody's improving year on year out. and everybody's at a similar sort of a level. And sometimes you see teams in the Championship who you expect to finish lower down, and they do manage to get into the playoffs, so they do manage to finish higher up. That seems to happen a lot more commonly than in the Premier League. So there we have it. I mean, let's see how Frank Lampard does at Chelsea. Like you say, hopefully he has an absolute nightmare. That would be brilliant. I'm actually pretty happy about it because we've got Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at United. There's lots of speculation and criticism and uncertainty surrounding his managerialship at United. So it's nice that Chelsea are in a similar boat now. Chelsea have Lampard, an ex-legend, one of the greatest players to ever play for them. And now they've got him as the manager. It would be interesting to see how he takes to it. We've got a comment here from Rajal Karim, who comments, "Hey Pig, big fan of your channel. Keep it up." Thank you very much, Rajal. Thanks for stopping by on this live stream here, you absolute legend. Fun guy, loving the old kit, mate. Yes, absolute classic. It's got Beckham on the back, in case you wondered. Clam says, "Can't wait to see Ollie versus Lamps." Yeah, well, that is going to be an interesting little tussle there. Old foes, as you say. Craig Whittam says he will do a good job at Chelsea. He's got everything in his lockers really to be a good manager. You think about what he was out there on the pitch. He was somebody who sort of led by example out there. The amount of goals that he scored from midfield, the driving runs, the important goals as well in big games. Definitely a character, definitely a leader within that Chelsea team, which had so many leaders. You have to say that was a fantastic Chelsea side, just that whole period that Lampard was part of, basically, when you had the likes of Didier Drogba and John Terry. I mean, when you've got those people on your side, you've got leaders in abundance, you've got fantastic players. So I'm sure he knows a thing or two about leading people. You can see with some of the camaraderie that he built up with the dressing room at Derby in that short time, that obviously he does have a way with people. You know, they seem to love him. The Derby team seem to love him. They seem to want to play for him. They seem to want to fight for him. And obviously they did celebrate with him too. So I think he's got it. He's got what it takes to be a manager. Steven Gerrard, obviously over at Rangers. It's a different situation, but I don't think it would be the right time for him to go and take the Liverpool job. Say it's just too early on, and it is too early on in Lampard's career. So in terms of being a manager, so only time will tell. But I think it's going to be a difficult bedding in period for him. But who knows? Maybe he could just go and be absolutely quality. Got a comment here from Jay World who says, "Why haven't we sold anyone?" Getting on to United quickly. Well, I don't think we sold anybody because we got that potato king Woodward in charge. He's just absolutely clueless. He doesn't really know how to broker a deal to get players out of the club. He doesn't know how to contact other teams in order to float players to them. The likes of Smalling, the likes of Jones. Hey, Blackburn, do you want Jones back? Hey, West Brom, do you fancy signing Chris Smalling? He doesn't seem to be doing anything, that man. So that's maybe a video for another day, but what is he actually doing? You're right, we haven't sold any players. You'd think at least some of the players going out, and that's just the crappy players that need to go. What about the big name players, or the players that we need to go in order to generate money? The likes of Lukaku, the likes of Pogba, Sanchez, we don't hear any sort of a deal about. So I just think we've got complete idiots upstairs twiddling their thumbs, not doing a whole lot right now in terms of getting players out. They're focusing everything they have on bringing players in because they know that we absolutely need them. But in terms of players going out in the opposite direction, nah, mate, they're not doing anything. And I don't understand why. Thank you very much for your comment there, pal. Callum Martin comments and says, "Tottenham made signings." Right, okay, yes, they have made a signing, haven't they? They've got Ndombele. Record fee for them as well. Unbelievable signing, really. I think he's a good player. It shows you the commitment from Levy, Spurs, what they're looking to do. Obviously, they haven't spent any money the last couple of seasons, really. Certainly not the last window or two. So it was about time that they did make a signing. They seem to have made a good signing there. Which brings me on to my next topic in this video, which I just completely forgot about, which is Man City have signed a player for their world record fee of £62.5 million from Atletico Madrid. Rodri, midfield player, from what I've seen of him, looks a very good player. Certainly a Pep Guardiola type player. He's going to be, I'm sure he's going to be good for them. I think that's a really good signing for them. Shame that Manchester United couldn't be signing players like that at the moment, but we cannot really compete with City out there in terms of, well, I guess we could financially, but in terms of actual appeal right now for a player to come and pull on the shirt and play and represent you and try and win trophies, and have a manager who's experienced and obviously has a reputation for winning things and a foundation for winning things, and a team which has a foundation for winning things and has won things. It makes a lot more sense to go there right now, doesn't it? If you're a top pro, if you're somebody like Rodri, I mean, it just makes a lot of sense. But it's, if any City fans watching, yeah, okay, fair enough. What am I going to say? I mean, City just champions. They've been steamrolling along now for the last couple of years with Pep at the helm. They sign players whenever they need to. They don't really need to that much because they've always got quality players in there. If you look at their squad right now, I mean, they could have gone with this window without signing Rodri and still won the league, I'm sure, next year. It's just they've got that sort of a good team. They play a good style of football. Pep Guardiola is obviously a very intelligent coach, and he does seem to get the best out of them. So I think for him, for Rodri, it's a great move. It sickens me. I'd love to see Man United signing a player like that. So I do think he's good. He's the sort of player that can take it out to the next level now. Still got plenty of time left in his career. So well done, City fans. You've got yourselves a good player there. It's no surprise, though. I mean, all the money that they've got from the oligarchs and stuff, they just do whatever they want, can't they? Beats produced by CM comments and says, Ollie wanted it all done before the tour. Absolutely, we should be getting all of our business done before the tour. Players out, especially, and players in. Obviously, you want to get them in, bed them into the team, find out what they're best at, and adapt for the start of the season based on what you've seen in pre-season. So absolutely, we should have had all this business wrapped up and done before the start of the pre-season tour, because the fact that it's not, it just goes to show the incompetence of the people upstairs at United. Freaking potato boy doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't know how to bring players into the club. We should be having players lined up on transfer day when the actual window opens to bring players in, and then try and spend a bit of time bringing players in. So before the tour, everything's cemented. Everybody knows who's playing this season. Everybody's gone who shouldn't be there. And that should be how it is. But unfortunately, the way Manchester United is run at the moment, we've just got a bunch of clueless clowns up there who don't really take this into consideration, and they just seem to flounder. They can't get the deals wrapped up. They can't get rid of players. Seriously, though, I know Pogba and Lukaku and Sanchez, those deals, they're difficult to get out the door because they're on huge money. Teams going to have to come in and pay them somewhere close to that money just to get them off our hands. And of course, they're going to have to pay a big transfer fee as well for the likes of Pogba or the likes of Lukaku. So it takes time with those deals. I can understand that. What I cannot understand is the lack of movement on the outs. Getting players out. The only thing I can think of is that Ole Gunnar wants Jones and Smalling. But that doesn't make any sense to me because they're absolutely awful. He knows that. He knows we need to strengthen that area in particular and have done for about 8 years. So he knows this. So I don't think that's the reason we've still got Jones and Smalling. I just think maybe there's been no offers for them. United are not prepared to go out there, offer him to clubs at a low price, get him off our books. Maybe it just doesn't quite make financial sense for an asset, if you want to call it that, for Ed Woodward, because that's all he really thinks about, I'm guessing, is the bottom line. Oh. Everybody tuning in, thanks for stopping by on this live stream. Smash a cheeky like on it. You know it makes sense. Susan Havria in the house. How are you, Susan? Hope you're all good. Comments, hey Joe, I have a question. What do you think of De Gea's €350,000 a week? Your thoughts? Well, there has been some speculation that United are in talks once again with David De Gea to keep him at Manchester United, which I think we should do everything in our power to do. Forget the blip at the end of the last season where he didn't look very good. I think his head was all over the place personally, because what we've seen from him up until that point, since about a year after he joined, he was a little bit ropey for the first year. Young 18, 19-year-old lad, couldn't quite get to grips with the physicality. But after he got that out of the system, after he matured a bit physically and mentally, he did become the best goalkeeper in the league, no, the world even. So we do have a special goalkeeper on our hands. We do have a game changer, a match winner. And David De Gea has always been that for us over the last 5 or 6 years, consistently our best player of the season, every single year pretty much. So there's no doubting that we should try and keep David De Gea. The money involved, £350,000 a week. I mean, I've even heard that he wants 400,000 a week, 450,000 a week. Because we've done this situation where we are signing players for a ridiculous amount of money, like Alexis Sanchez, who was being paid 450 or 500,000 pounds a week, that sort of undermines the rest of the squad. You've got Bruno Mars on 450 a week, David De Gea, the best goalkeeper, the best player in his position in the world, is on 200,000, 250,000, whatever it may be. The fact of the matter is, if you are going to pay Alexis Sanchez 450, if you're going to pay Pogba 300, 350, then David De Gea deserves that sort of parity with them because he's that quality of a player. The unfortunate thing is, Ed Woodward has got this wage structure and wage bill completely out of hand now. We're in this situation where we're overpaying players. Other players in the squad want paying higher because of that, because they're seeing the input that they have into the team is much higher than the melt jobs that are getting paid more than them. So rightfully, they want more money. It's like any job. If you work in a call center and you're getting twice as many deals in as somebody else and they're getting paid more than you, you'd be like, what the heck is going on here? I want more than them. Not even the same. I want more than them. So you can understand the impact that, or the input David De Gea has had at United would warrant more money. So for me, I think we should just pay the lad. I know it's ridiculous, and I know it totally just goes back on everything I said about keeping the wage structure in check. But Herrera went to PSG because he had a better opportunity to play football in terms of challenging for things. He could win League One, he can win the Champions League, or at least play in the Champions League. He can play with top players. It's an attractive proposition, more an attractive of a proposition as playing for United. Take money out of it. Now, if you factor in that PSG are prepared to pay him just as well as, or if not better, than Manchester United would, and United wouldn't quite go to that level because we're spending so much money on players like Sanchez and stuff, even though Herrera was one of the few players that did show heart and fight and bottom out there for United, then it just goes to show you that we're not prepared to pay that sort of money to everybody. But De Gea, and we shouldn't do either, because it can spiral out of control quite quickly. But with David De Gea, who are you going to sign? Let's say you sell him. Let's say you sell him now for, he's not got long on a contract, I don't think, 60, 80, whatever, 100 million, I doubt it, but 60, 80 million pounds, that's a lot of money to get in the transfer kitty, absolutely, and you can go out there and sign a quality player, a great goalkeeper, another good prospect, somebody who could be the next David De Gea, Ajax's goalie, Onana, what's my name? He's a player that was speculated about and looks like a good prospect, that had a really good season. So, it's a tricky one, isn't it? I mean, I don't really know the right answer to that, really. Only time will tell, because I think if David De Gea goes to somewhere else, he's still going to be the best goalie in the world. Yes, we can cash in, we can go and get someone else, and they could be Edwin van der Sar, they could be Schmeichel, but they could also be Mark Bosnich, or they could be Roy Carroll, or they could be Massimo Taibbi. I very much doubt that, but the fact is, you're not guaranteed to get a player near David De Gea's standards, and at this late stage, with the season round the corner, pre-season, etc., we need to do some business very, very quickly. I think signing David De Gea up, making him the highest paid goalie ever, making him one of the highest paid players in the world, is probably justified, because he's one of the best players in the world in terms of what he brings to your football club, how many points he saves you a season. The guy's an absolute tank. So football has gone mad, money's gone mad. I'm just thinking from this stance, if Alexis Sanchez is being paid 450k a week or £500,000 a week, shouldn't David De Gea be paid somewhere near that, surely? I know he's a goalkeeper, but in terms of points added, in terms of quality added, in terms of how good you are in your position in the world, surely he is a very, very, should be a very high paid player. He's one of our most important players. LPHIXDJ comments and says, just not attractive enough anymore. United are way down the pecking order. That's what I mean. I'm not sure if you're in response to Rodri there, signing for City, or David De Gea, but yes, I mean, at this moment in time, the proposition of playing for Manchester United, the proposition of not challenging in the Champions League, because we don't have Champions League football, and also not challenging in the Premier League, because realistically, overnight, even if we sign a few really top players, even if we sign Cristiano Ronaldo, it's not like we're really going to challenge for the Premier League next season. Well, maybe if we had Ronaldo, we'd have a much better chance. But we've got problems at the back. We've got problems throughout the squad that need addressing, which we haven't addressed just yet. We've addressed a couple of problems, hopefully, but we haven't addressed some of the big glaring problems that we've got. We've also got other problems, the David De Gea situation, players remaining at the club who perhaps are having a negative impact in the dressing room, like Alexis Sanchez could potentially, with just the sheer amount of money that he's paid, like Paul Pogba could with his character and the situation surrounding him, saying things in the media. Does he want to leave? Are we going to be able to get rid of him? Does somebody want to come in and pay the money to take him away? Lukaku maybe going to Inter. There's all this speculation about a loan move and all this stuff. Well, Um, that's just it's not an attractive proposition to play for Manchester United right now for players coming in. That's why Herrera maybe went to PSG. He obviously loved United. I think he did anyway. But he's gone to PSG because it's a better proposition. Champions League football, domestic trophies, and maybe even a bit more money. So United have all this pressure. United have all these problems at the moment, and there's still uncertainty. Yes, we've got Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and it's better, I think, than having Jose Mourinho, because I think he was just not getting it at United. He was not prepared to change. He was too rigid in his ways. But yeah, you're right. I mean, we are down the pecking order right now. Spurs are probably in the position where they can sign better players than us, which is absolutely ridiculous. I can't remember a time as a United fan, as a human being, when Spurs were in a better placed position to bring talents into their squad. I mean, oh my God! When you think about it, it's absolutely sickening, isn't it? The situation United are in, no Champions League football. We don't have a, quotes, top coach that can maybe bring players in like Guardiola has with this Rodri situation. I think Ole Gunnar could potentially be a very good coach for us, but let's see, he's not there yet. He's not those managers who can bring in those players just by having a chat with them, I don't think. Not the top players anyway right now. So, it's a terrible situation United are in. Bad management of the club over the years from the top down. Michael Shows comments and says transfer ban could save Chelsea 200 million if Lampard brings a few quality youngsters through. Yeah, absolutely. I think he will do that. Like I said, Mason Mount out on loan at Derby, looked a good young talent. Brought this Kovacic in on permanent basis. Pulisic is back from loan. So those players, I'm sure they will bring them on now. And he's obviously going to have to promote players and bring players in through the youth to handle the sheer number of fixtures that Chelsea will have throughout the season. So it's a great opportunity for Lampard to bring on this club, develop these youth players. I think he could do it. I think he could do it. I don't see why not. And Chelsea, like you say, they won't go out there and spend because they can't. They can't go out there and spend. So they're going to have to approach us in a different way. Getting somebody like not for the third time, but like a Jose or something would not be right now because he needs to go out there and spend. Whereas Lampard, they've probably got this job with that in mind. The fact that Chelsea are in this situation, that it's not quite as an attractive a proposition for a potential top manager to come in because they're not going to be able to shape the squad. They're going to have to deal with what they've got right now. Lampard, on the other hand, is probably the ideal situation for him. I mean, there's lads at the club that he was playing with a little while ago. Thank you very much for your comment. Tony Kelly in the house here. Thank you very much for your comment and stopping by here. Says, great channel, pal. What do you think if Stevie G took over Liverpool after Klopp? Thanks very much for your comment, Tony. I would say that it makes a lot of sense. It's probably the natural progression for Steven Gerrard in his career. Why has he even got into management? Why has he got into management? He doesn't need to. He's absolutely meant to go down as one of the best Premier League players ever. He doesn't need to go and manage in the Scottish Premiership. Trust me. He doesn't need to. He's doing it because he's gaining that experience. He's learning. He's gone over there to take it as an education, really. And it is a baptism of fire playing over there sometimes. So I think it is a good move for Stevie G to go and do that and progress his career. And I think in future, whether it's after Klopp or after somebody else down the line, at some point, Steven Gerrard will be manager of Liverpool. You know that. Unless he just shows an absolute lack of managerial qualities throughout the years. Until then. But I don't see that happening anytime soon. Liverpool, finally, after years and years of struggle and turmoil, are actually in a position now where everything's looking pretty rosy for them. They've got a good manager in Klopp. They've got success. Champions League trophy. Challenging in the Premier League. Very unlucky not to win the Premier League last season. They're going to be challenging it for it again next season because they do have the squad. They have got the quality there. They've got special players there. Special players like, Van Dijk and Alisson and Salah, special players in their position. So I do think Liverpool are in a special situation at the moment, which they haven't seen for absolutely years. So I don't think they will upset that anytime soon. I can't imagine Klopp being sacked anytime soon. It's not like Liverpool are going to drop off that much where they get himself into a situation where he could potentially be sacked. So I don't see Steven Gerrard getting the opportunity to manage Liverpool soon, but I think it's just a formality. It will be a matter of time. One day he will be Liverpool manager. And I just hope that he never wins the Premier League as manager either. How amazing would that be? Because I respect Steven Gerrard as a player. He's not my favourite sort of dude, to be honest with you, but he's obviously a fantastic player. But it's just brilliant that Giggsy won 13 Premier League titles, and Gerrard hasn't won a single one. He's won the same as me. I know he won the Champions League and stuff like that, and he's mentored and all that, but he's still never won the Premier League, has he? That fills me with such great optimism. And if he couldn't do that, couldn't replicate it as a manager, well, that'd just be brilliant, wouldn't it? I think if Klopp does leave in, say, 2 or 3 years' time, though, and Steven Gerrard is in the line to manage Liverpool, then he's probably going to have left him quite a decent side. But let's see what happens. We've got a comment here from Nasri, who comments City to win again the league. Nasri Kadbib Abdi, thank you very much for your comment there. City to win the league. Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you. I just think they've done it season after season now. 100 points, over 100 points the season before. Last season, unbelievable points haul again. 97 points, was it? Or 98 points. They beat Liverpool by 1 point. So, incredible points haul they're getting. It doesn't look like they're slowing down anytime soon. I think Man City, they've only added quality now with this Rodri signing. Yes, they've lost Vincent Kompany, a great leader for them. They've got Otamendi, don't know whether or not he'll be leaving. They could sign somebody else like Maguire. They might not. They don't really need to, I don't think. But they are definitely going to be there and thereabouts again next season. Sorry, I got a frog in my throat. So, yes, I think City will win the league again next season. I think Liverpool will finish second again. I think it'll be a tight run race. There's absolutely a possibility that Liverpool will win the league. They've got the quality to do that. They could do that. They were unlucky not to do it. It's only Man City's just sheer consistency is the reason that they didn't do it last year. We've got a comment here another comment from Susan. She's commented, says, I'm doing good and thank you for your answer. No worries at all, Susan. Much appreciated you stopping in here. Tony Kelly, do you and United fans think Bruno Fernandes will be done soon? There's lots of speculation about it, isn't there? People announcing all over the place that it's a done deal and all this sort of stuff, but it's not done. It's not done yet. We'll know when it's really close to being done, and even then at the final hurdle, it can halt, it can fall. So you just wait. If there's an announcement that's cement, you'll hear about it on this channel anyway. Super chat here from Gungshi. How's it going, Gungshi? Thanks very much for supporting the channel here, man. You absolute nutter. Thanks for stopping by. He comments and says, this stinks to high heaven of Potato Head Ed's incompetence. We need more than the likes of Daniel James and Longstaff. Promising as they may be for the future, we need a Delight or a Sancho or the like. Good shout. Thank you very much, Gungshi, for getting in there with your super chat. I think it is all down to Ed Woodward being completely incompetent. He's shown that over the years. Look at the last transfer window of Jose Mourinho in the summer. It was an awful transfer window. Didn't address any of the problems. Didn't help the manager out. Help the squad out. Improve us. It was like we didn't even bother. And I'm sorry, if you're signing Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka and Longstaff, say, and that's the only signage you make, then that's a pretty awful window. Because yes, they're good young talents, and Wan-Bissaka had a really good season last season in the Premier League and had great statistics and all that sort of stuff. But still, it's not really addressed the problems areas that we've got, and you're pinning a lot of hope on players like Daniel James, who, yeah, they've got bags of potential, pace for days, looked really good in the Championship last year, but taking it to the next level in the Premier League and doing it for Manchester United is a very, very different animal. At 21 years of age, can he step up and do that? I mean, I hope that he can. I think that he can. But he might not. And that's the thing with football. Anything can happen. He could get an injury, he's out 6 months, then he's set back, and then just his development doesn't come on quite as well. Anything can happen in football. So there's no guarantees with these players that we sign that United are going to be any better off next season. Hopefully we will be. Wan-Bissaka's a good signing. But come on, United do definitely need to make some new signing, quality signings. I mean, Delight, I think, is a little bit beyond us right now. I'd like to think that we could do that, but I just think he has more appealing and better options to go to right now. It's not like he's a United supporter or anything like that. I think he could easily, a couple of years ago, it's the sort of player we could have signed easily. But right now, I'm not so sure. I think he's got better options on the table. Other teams are prepared to pay the money. Sancho, yeah, I agree with you though. It's those type of players that United need to add. Unfortunately, we can't add those players right now because there's other teams that are wanting those players who are better placed to provide them the football that they want, to challenge for things, to pay them just as much, if not more. And they're in a better situation where there's not all this uncertainty. There's maybe a top established manager in there. Like I say, I mean, Tottenham are further ahead than us right now, Gungchi. Freaking Tottenham in terms of signing players. I can never imagine saying that because Tottenham can go out there They can offer a player Champions League football. They can offer him, I mean, maybe money is the only thing they wouldn't offer him, but rightfully so. Why would they want to go out there and break their wage bill just to bring a star player in? Maybe that's the only thing they can't quite offer them, but they could if Daniel Levy wanted to. They've got the money. And in terms of stadia and facilities and stuff like that, it's just as good as anywhere now. So, Pochettino is obviously a top manager. It's a settled team. It's a developing team. It's a team that's only getting better. So if you're a potential player coming into that side, you're excited. You're excited at the prospect. You're not even worrying too much about pressure to begin with, I don't think, because you've got this established team. You're just going in there and the pressure's not going to be on you straight away, I don't think, because you've got the likes of Kane and, all those, and Ericsson and all those sorts of guys who are already established, who are consistent, who know what they're doing, who are only getting better, who are going to challenge whatever game they're playing. So it takes a lot of the pressure off. Where if you're a top player coming into United right now, crikey, the pressure is on you because we've bought you for shitloads of money and you're on loads of money because that's what United do. We pay players loads of money. So you've got to perform, and the team's not performing because we're just bang average at the moment. So how are you going to then perform? If I'm a player, I'm not excited at the prospect of playing, unless I'm a United fan. Obviously, I'd love to play for United. But if I'm just a player who's not a United fan, I would go to Tottenham. I know that's messed up because I would have never said that a couple of years ago, ever. Thank you so much for your support there on the channel there, Gungshi. You're an absolute hero. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you're all good. And he also comments, the money in football really has gone mad. I would love us to sign Saul Niguez, but apparently he'd cost at least 130 million. I don't think United should spend anywhere near that sort of money at the moment, because we just... I'd love to sign top quality players, I would, but I think it's not worked out well for us the last couple of years. I think changing our transfer policy at the moment is probably the best thing we've done for a long time, which is we've shown... just in this window, obviously we don't know what's going to happen now. Maybe we do go and sign a big player for loads of money, but it looks like we're building for the future now. It looks like we're signing players who are young, hungry, who have that potential, who've shown ability and are getting better. So I think we're in that period of development at the moment. Super chat from Rincon here. Thank you very much for getting involved with your super chat there, pal. No comment to go with it, but shout out to the Rinconator, always a supporter of this channel, always gets involved. He comments below, actually, how has City not been investigated for financial fair play? I don't really know what's going on there. They spent loads of money. What are they bringing into the club? Okay, they've got a few commercial deals with their owned companies and things like that, like Etihad. So I guess they could just put money through the books. It's all very, very fishy indeed. But I think... it's only a matter of time before they get done for financial fair play. I don't know the ins and outs. I don't know how they're running the football club. But over the years, they spent loads of money on players and they're paying out loads of wages. They don't have much of a commercial draw. I know that's getting significantly better now, obviously. But it's not like Manchester United, the huge commercial entity in football in the Premier League. It's not like that. So I don't understand how they can justify all the money that they've spent over the years. But we shall see. There you go. I think it's just a matter of time before that happens. The great thing about United, and it's not maybe great because the Glazers obviously brought it with debt, but is that we are sustainable. We can spend a lot of money because we generate a lot of money, and that's the key with financial fair play, obviously. We've got a comment here from Dan, who says, top man, flying pig, great content. Thank you, Dan, for getting involved here and showing me the love. Gungshi comments, let's face it, we're not finishing above City, Liverpool or Spurs, as they all have better teams. We're going to be in a fight with Arsenal and Chelsea and potentially Wolves and Leicester for 4th place. Yeah, that's exactly how I see it as well. I think Wolves and Leicester they've got the potential to finish higher than us this season. Let's see how we do in the window. But if we just get Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka and Longstaff, and we've still got Jones and Smalling and all those jokers and Pogba and Lukaku and Sanchez all knocking about. Come on, I don't see the team unity at the side like a Leicester City has. They are a gelled unit. They are all pulling in the same direction. And same with Wolves. Great team. Don't have the quality of players, but they're a great team. I could see them finishing higher than United this season unless Ole Gunnar gets it right and unless we move some players on and unless we sign a couple of more top quality players to improve the situation. It's very unlikely United could break into the top 4 next year, even if we do sign a couple of players, because Tottenham are in a much better place. They've signed a new player. They're much better positioned. They got to the Champions League final, secure Champions League football. you'd have to say they're in a better place to finish in the top four. Liverpool, of course, they're definitely in a better place to finish in the top four. Finished second and won the Champions League. City, they're the champions. They're not going to slip outside the top four. And then it is a case of who occupies that fourth spot. Is it Arsenal? Is it Chelsea? Is it Manchester United? Well, Arsenal potentially could. I think they're only a couple of signings away from improving themselves significantly enough. Don't think they will, but they could. Chelsea, they could with Frank Lampard. Do you know what I mean? It's going to be very difficult for us, even if we do sign a couple of players, to actually compete and challenge for the top four next season, which is an absolute disgrace. Ian Turnington, shout out to you, Ian. Comments, only just joined the stream, but why would any big name manager want to come to United or Chelsea while the clubs are in such a mess? Well, that's maybe the situation that they're in. That's why Frank Lampard has been appointed as Chelsea manager, because he doesn't have the necessary experience. I know he's an old ex-legend of theirs, great player, but he doesn't have the manager experience. One season in the Championship, getting into the playoff final with Derby, is not the experience necessary to manage a club like Chelsea. But they're in this situation, they can't sign players. A manager can't come in, have his stamp on the team. He's not going to get a war chest, a transfer key to spend, bring the players in, shape the team how he wants. So this is the perfect opportunity for Chelsea to do that. United's another special situation where it's the same sort of thing. We were in such a slump. We gave it to the manager, the marquee manager, Jose Mourinho. He won us the treble first year, Mickey Mouse treble. Then it just petered off. Well, second year we finished second actually in the league, and then it just petered off. Maybe Woodward, maybe whatever. But we tried that route, and that didn't work either. So I think that's why United have come to this situation where we made Ole Gunnar the permanent manager. They instilled him as a temporary manager to the end of the season until we could appoint a permanent manager. There was all talk of Pochettino. There was talk of Zidane. There was all sorts of talk of managers that could come in and take over from Jose Mourinho. But after a temporary spell from Ole Gunnar, he was the one who was just going to steer the ship until the end of the season. He had an unbelievable run when we first came in, and that's what got him the job. That's why we appointed him permanent manager, and because of the history and the legend that he has at the club. Those are the only reasons, really. So I don't think that I really don't think it would happen at any other time. A couple of years ago, we wouldn't have signed Ole Gunnar Solskjaer on the back, as manager, on the back of a Molde Norwegian Championship, and also on the back of getting sacked by Cardiff City. We wouldn't have done that. But because of the situation we were in, we needed an interim manager. Jose, everything had gone sour. We needed an interim manager to step up just to the end of the season. He did a job really well. That's why he got the job. So I think both those cases, you're right. It's not going to be... it's not going to be a case of those clubs are going to be able to get the top managers right now. Thank you very much for your comment, though, Ian. Much appreciate you stopping by in here. Richard James, how you doing, Richard? Comments, newspapers in England saying Ollie wants 2 new players signed by the end of the week. Tour starts in 9 days or something. Yeah, well... I mean, we don't have much time to get these players in, bed them in, have time in the pre-season for Ole Gunnar to work with them, the coaching staff to work with them, to meet the teammates, to gel with the teammates. You need a lot of time to do that. We don't have time. So we do need to wrap these deals up quickly. I'm not so sure that we are doing that. Certainly we're not getting rid of players either. So I think Ole Gunnar should be absolutely adamant at getting 2 new players in before that starts. Absolutely adamant. The guy needs time. What are we going to do? Rush through a couple of panic buys on the last day of the transfer window? Absolutely not. Gungshi comments, I reckon Henry is going to come back from China a billionaire and buy out Spurs. Well, I hope that he does, to be honest with you. That would be absolutely amazing. But no, I don't think he'll be a billionaire. Maybe a millionaire one day. He's a pretty astute little fellow, actually, as Henry. But no, No, I don't think so. Thank you very much for your comment there, Gungshi. But I do hope that he does. That'd be amazing. I'll tell you what, if I was a billionaire, I'd absolutely buy Manchester United off those scumbags, the Glazers, just for that reason alone. And I'm pretty sure we'd do a much better job than those twats. For a start, I'd just clear off all the debt with my billions, and then I'd just sign quality players, and I'd basically just be the manager as well. Until I sack myself anyway for poor performance. Craig comments, Sheffield United. What are you commenting about Sheffield United for? Obviously, they're up from the Championship. It's going to be very interesting to see how they do. Right, guys, I just realised I've been rambling for 40 minutes here. I thought it was about 20 minutes. I was going to try and stay on here for about 20 minutes. We've rambled for 40 minutes. I've got actually stuff to do today. So I better get on, but I do really appreciate everybody who's tuned into this live stream. Wanted to hear your thoughts and opinions, any Chelsea fans, just United fans in general, on the appointment of Frank Lampard to Chelsea as their new manager with a transfer embargo in place for the next couple of seasons. I think it does make sense, but I think it's a bit too soon for Lamps. But let's see if he can run with the opportunity. And also the other big headline I was talking about today that's happened in the football world. City have broken their transfer record and signed Rodri from Atletico Madrid. Get your reactions and stuff in the comment section after this video has finished. Please do get your thoughts in. I love to respond and read everybody's thoughts and opinions. So get them in the comment section. Before you go, please do a favour and smash a cheeky little like on this video. Give this a share. You can always share this video, share this channel with your friends if they're a United fan or a football fan, whatever. Get the word out for me. It would really help. Alex Rod just popping in here at the end. He says, "Hey Pig, just woke up." Hey Alex, thanks very much for stopping by. He's left us a cheeky super chat saying, "Have a good day, mate." Thank you very much. An absolute gent who says he'll watch it back, listen back. So thank you very much, Alex Rudd, absolute legend. Everybody else, the Rinconator, Gungshi, all the other people who supported this live stream, thanks so much for getting involved. And everybody else as well, who are not sitting on a cushion, please do keep tuning into these live streams. But you're a bunch of legends. Like, subscribe, comment, follow me on social media at Mr. Flying Pig HD for more content on there as well. And also subscribe to this channel if you are new to the channel, because I upload videos quite frequently, talking absolute cod about Manchester United and football in general. I do live streams. I'm going to be trying to do live streams for games and stuff starting from the start of the season. So anyway, you're a bunch of legends for tuning in. Have yourselves a good one. Get your thoughts and opinions in below about Frank Lampard at Chelsea and also about Rodri signing for Manchester City. Much appreciated. Have yourselves a good day. This is the Big. Take it easy. Sort your freaking lives out, United.